Good Tuesday morning, and today is May 13th, and it's the feast of St. Matthias the Apostle. And it's a great story of Matthias. He's not one of the originals. He takes Judas's place. But he had to be a witness to Christ. He had to walk with Christ. He had to be with the gang, as it were. And he takes the place of Judas. And I think of this, maybe Matthias, St. Matthias, stands for the rest of us. Not that we take the place of the failures, but that we continue the apostolic role. I think of that, not just clergy at all, but all of us, the baptized. All of us who claim to be Christian and were baptized and live the Christian life. It seems to me that we are, in some ways, the disciples of St. Matthias, because we're coming along after the original apostles. Though he is a quasi-original, I think. I think I'm right on that, put it that way. He was an original walker. He walked with Christ. But he wasn't the original apostle. He takes Judas's place, you see. And in some ways, Judas defected. But in some, and obviously, he's famous or infamous. But in another way, we are taking the place of our predecessors. We continue the apostolic mission. We preach the gospel to the next generation. We do. Some of us as clergy, many of us as parents, spouses, friends, whatever life has called us to, whatever providence has called us to, we take, and maybe Matthias is a good example for us, because we are not the originals. We walk with the originals, as it were. We continue it. And to quote the great philosopher Frank Sinatra, we do it our way. You see, we do it from the way we see and how we live within the life of the faith and the life of the church. I think that's so important, because it is, in a profound sense, a gift of love. That's the gospel today. Is love one another as I have loved you. The one commandment Christ gives us. It's not a canonical command, follow the rules. It's love one another as I have loved you, which means self-sacrificial love. Look, he's crucified for us, you see. One of the most important, I think, events of the Council, the 20th century, the Second Vatican Council, was the re-emphasis under John the 23rd, of course Paul the VI, but especially John the 23rd, the primacy of love. The primacy of love as opposed to the primacy of law. Those of us old enough to know the primacy of the faith and the praxis, the practice of the faith, even the liturgy, was so law-like. Rules, and that was necessary, I guess, moral rules, and it was there for the sake of the confessional. When we'd go to confession, how many times did you do it? How many days? What did you do? You go through your conscience, yeah? Examination of conscience. And you confessed your sins in a way canonically, by rule. How many did you do? What? How many? That's the truth, you see. And it was necessary as we were rebuilding the conscience of the West over the course of the first half of the 20th century, even the 19th, you see. But that is preparatory, only preparatory. The ultimate commandment that Christ gave us wasn't rules, to keep the rules, was the law, and the law was the law of love. And therefore, we are called to the freedom of love itself. That was very, very moving for me when I was in the monastery, my formation, a long time ago, 60 years ago. I came out of the pious 50s, and I came out of the legalistically pious 50s. I kept the rules, and to an enormously strict degree. Very, very over the top. My father said to me, "You're a fanatic. Don't be a fanatic." You see? He was right. I was a fanatic. Yeah, that's the truth. And in many ways, I was a part of a fanatical, legalistic church experience. I remember it was a church of fear, I have to say. Obediential fear. Fear of breaking the rules, because we would be condemned for it, end up in hell, or worse, get struck dead. I told you the story about that very good sister, who, when I was fooling around in class in Sunday school, she thought it was Pete, and she thought Pete was going to get struck dead. Oh, come on. You see? And I said, no, it's me. It's just, But it was in the order that I learned. I learned because we contemplated the cross of Christ. And I say that we as a Passionist community preach Jesus crucified, died, and risen. We didn't preach canon law. In fact, I have to say the most diminished form of my education, and I'm grateful for it, is canon law. I don't know if I had one course in it that was significant in any remote sense. We had one canon law teacher. All he did was teach us about pastoral life, the pastoral life. Yeah, they didn't know nothing about law. That's the truth. I'm grateful for that because in many ways, I'm a Passionist. We preach Jesus crucified. And in the confessional, we're not lawyers. We're gospel preachers. We come to bring the compassion and the forgiveness of Christ to the world, to the person in that confessional. Not there to judge or harshly, but to encourage through grace, to forgive sins and encourage the life of virtue. Not because it's going to get you into heaven, but because you will be living a full Christian life. And we'll get you into heaven. But mostly to live virtuously. I think of Socrates, the Greek philosopher, or Plato, Aristotle. The virtuous life is a life well lived, but it's also holy. Okay? Christianity baptizes virtue and makes it heroic. I don't know if I said that well. See, we're not called to mere obedience. We're called to the intimacy and the self-creation of love itself. We're called to love each other, and that the Passionists taught me. Because if anything else, our community is a community of friends together. Friends together. I mean that. You had to live the Passions life. Still is. There was a deep love that the men had for each other. Sometimes they didn't like each other, but they loved each other and looked out for each other. There was a community of friends. I don't know how else to put it. Yes, a shared adventure. I've never lost that. I still have it. I think of it in the parish. We're not just preacher and teacher, minister to the people. We are fellow parishioners. We walk together. We live together. We believe together. We suffer together. So, I mean that. And St. Tim's and St. Mark's taught me that part, that we're in a neighborhood of friends. That's what really struck me about St. Tim's. I saw it because it was a parish in a neighborhood created by the subdivision of Indian Hills. It was really created by it. It was an afterthought to the diocese, but the reality was it united the neighborhood through faith. What a powerful, powerful faith the people had, and the way they practice it, from the altar to the ball fields. And that's where I learned it. I told you that before, going out and watching the guys coach their kids. From soccer, which I knew nothing about, from soccer to baseball, and with the young girls, softball, okay? It was the truth. And basketball, this, not football, basketball. Soccer. I learned what soccer was here at St. Tim's. They didn't know what it was. This is a soccer town, see? And I learned it here. Still don't know how to play it, but you see how a culture forms, and the church was so central and still so central to the life of the people. Not just ecclesiastically, not just liturgically, though absolutely so, but also in a neighborly manner. We are a neighborhood, friends actively together. That's what St. Tim's, St. Mark's taught me, teaches me. We are friends together, actively friends together, whether on the ball field, in a hospital room, wherever we are together, actively together. I always like the expression looking out for each other, taking care of each other, loving each other as Christ commands us. Love one another as I have loved you. The great commandment. Love one another. And that's the truth. I'm grateful. I knew it as a kid growing up and all the rest, but I saw it and experienced it with a vengeance here at St. Tim's. I saw what a parish was. But then I was in it. I used to look out the window and see the kids playing on the parking lot. That's the faith. Or in the backyard with their fathers teaching them, or the girls learning from their moms how to play softball or how to play basketball especially. See? It was neat. I learned what life in the church was about. The people of God, friends, actively together with the clergy, friends together, not a hierarchy, friends together.